in this Martell Cup, and Scotton Banks goes straight into the lead. Scotton Banks, the leader at the first. From Egypt Mill Prince on the far side, Black Humor right up with them, couldn't be better, just in behind with Barton Bank. An Unguided Missile, and coming to the first of the ditches now. Scotton Banks, Egypt Mill Prince, Barton Bank. In fourth was Black Humor, an Unguided Missile, and couldn't be better. Coming to the third in the Martell Cup, 27,700 the winning owner picks up, and Scotton Banks the leader from Barton Bank. Oh, and a four there, Black Humor. Black Humor fell very heavily, the old horse there, the 12-year-old. And Jamie Osborne still to rise. The horse is up on his feet all right. Scotton Banks, the leader from Barton Bank, as they go over the far side. And still Jamie Osborne being attended on the ground as Scotton Banks leads them down the far side from Barton Bank. Egypt Mill Prince, Unguided Missile, and couldn't be better, the back marker of what are now a quintet. At the fourth, Scotton Banks from Barton Bank. Then Egypt Mill Prince, who jumped it beautifully. Unguided Missile, and finally couldn't be better. Number 5, Scotton Banks. Barton Bank just a little bit hesitant at that one. Coming to the second of the ditches now. Jamie Osborne up all right. Jamie Osborne up. He looks a bit groggy, but he's on his feet. Barton Banks on the inside. Barton Bank on the inside of Scotton Banks as they come to the seventh. An applause there you may have heard in the background for Jamie Osborne as he got to his feet, but he looks considerably shaken after that very, very heavy fall on the old horse Black Humor, who appeared unscathed, mercifully. So Scotton Banks still the leader as they race towards the 8th of the 19 fences from Barton Bank and Egypt Mill Prince. And a spectacular jump by Barton Bank on the inside of Scotton Banks there, took him into the lead. Barton Bank from Scotton Banks, very little between the two. Then comes Egypt Mill Prince, Unguided Missile, and couldn't be better. Another plain fence, number 9. Scotton and Barton together. Egypt Mill Prince, Unguided Missile, and couldn't be better. Number 10 is the third of the ditches. Scotton Banks and Barton Bank. Barton Bank just the leader from Scotton Banks. Going strongly in behind him, Egypt Mill Prince, then Unguided Missile, then couldn't be better. Racing down to the fence that'll be the last on the next circuit. Barton Bank and Scotton Banks together from Egypt Mill Prince, Unguided Missile, and couldn't be better. Now beginning to swing left-handed to make their way out over on the far side of this mildmay course, 3 miles and a furlong in all, this Martell Cup, and a full circuit ahead of them now as these two, Scotton Banks and Barton Bank, dispute it. And couldn't be better has been pulled up. Couldn't be better has been pulled up. 4 left in it now. So both Charlie Brooks' horses out, Black Humor and couldn't be better. Number 12, Barton Bank and Scotton Banks. Back in third, Unguided Missile, and almost getting detached now is Egypt Mill Prince. Number 13, Barton Bank and Scotton Banks, Unguided Missile. Then Egypt Mill Prince. Egypt Mill Prince being chased along to keep in touch with them, but he's finding it hard to maintain contact over the 4th ditch. And there it was Barton Bank from Scotton Banks, now under pressure. Unguided Missile is traveling well in behind the 2 leaders. 5 from home now. Barton Bank. Oh, he reached for that one. Unguided Missile made a shocking blunder too, and Scotton Banks has gone back into second. Egypt Mill Prince is beginning to get a little bit closer to the others, but he's flat to the boards to do so, and it's Barton Bank from Scotton Banks, the two who've been the principals throughout, coming to the fourth from home now. Barton Bank from Scotton Banks, gap of about 6 lengths then to Unguided Missile. Another bad mistake by the leader, but he got away with it, Barton Bank. But as he did so Scotton Banks comes back to join him again. They're racing into the home turn now with 3 fences left to jump in the Martell Cup, and it's Scotton Banks who's gone to the lead again. Scotton Banks under Lock and Wire as they come down to the third last from Barton Bank. The third last, and Scotton Banks lands in the lead, but Barton Bank is once again getting closer to him. Unguided Missile back in third, Egypt Mill Prince fourth. Coming down to the final ditch now, 2 from home. Scotton Banks on the far side. Barton Banks landed in the lead though. It's Barton Bank on the near side. Scotton Banks producing a sprint though on the far side, goes back into the lead. Coming down to the final fence now, and it's the two that have matched each other throughout, with Scotton Banks the leader from Barton Bank by a good 2 lengths as he comes to the last. Scotton Banks under Lock and Wire lands 2 lengths near of Barton Bank, who makes a shocking blunder, only just gets away with it under Tony McCoy, and that has definitely handed the race to Scotton Banks, who wins it deservedly. Races past the winning post, the winner. Second is Barton Bank, and third Unguided Missile, and fourth, the only other finisher, Egypt Mill Prince. And so the result of a dramatic Martell Cup chase. First, number 5, Scotton Banks, owned by Mr. I. Braid, trained by Tim Easterby and ridden by Lock and Wire at 9 to 2. Second was number 1, Barton Bank, owned by Mrs. Jenny Mole, trained by David Nicholson and ridden by Tony McCoy. And third, number 6, Unguided Missile, owned by Mr. D. Harrison, trained by Gordon Richards and ridden by Richard Dunwoody, with fourth, number 4, Egypt Mill Prince. Lock and Wire had the misfortune to lose his intended Martell Grand National partner, Too Good to Be True, through an infection to the horse, wins the first chase of this great meeting.
And what a difference ground makes. They've got a real ring-a-ding gallop, and jumping had not helped Barton Bank. A lot of them he jumped well, but the ones he didn't, he sort of tripped over. And Tony McCoy comes right out the side. He's looking at the grass. Self-preservation takes over, and he gets back in the plate. But Skew, ground is the factor, and this horse goes on it the winner.
Yes, we pointed that out before. Tim Easterby said that the ground with this horse, he's a good horse, isn't he? I could see him coming back for a Gold Cup or a National one day. Lovely horse. Very interesting race. About halfway down the back there, it looked all to played for until Unguided Missile made that terrible mistake. But he's a relentless galloper, this. He's by Le Moss. I always used to think the Le Moss horses wanted softer ground than this. Jumped up in the air a few times, but a great victory for Lock and Wire. He's a very good rider, doesn't get the glories he deserves. He's following in the footsteps of a great jockey in John Joe O'Neill at Easterby's yard, but a very fine rider in himself.
And these colours, well used to being in the winner's enclosure. Of course, Ian Bray's had a lot of good horses with Tim's father, Peter, for many years.
Yes, I remember riding one for him. Cy Brandian was a lovely horse, and he was placed in the Gold Cup. Behind there, Richard Dunwoody explaining how brilliant he was to stay on Unguided Missile. It was a lovely recovery, isn't it? What I love to see when those horses make those mistakes, he gives a horse a chance before he starts rushing it again. He gave it a few strides to get away from the fence, then he gave the horse a reminder it didn't come back onto the bridle there.
An amazing thing about this winner is that Tim and Peter Easterby say he's not a great worker at home. He isn't a sparkling horse, but this is where it matters.
That's right. There's so many of these steeplechasers, at any rate, don't need to be fast at home to win these races. They need to be tough and have a big heart, and that is definitely what he's got.
Yes, we can only assume, though I'm sure we'll get news that couldn't be better, probably burst a blood vessel, because he stopped very quickly indeed and pulled up.
Yes, I think that's one of the reasons that Charlie sent him to Italy, was to try and get him over that problem. Charlie was very critical of himself, as I said beforehand, worrying whether he should have given him a race in the Gold Cup. He's proved himself right in the decision he made. He ran a great race in the Gold Cup, and it was just one too many today.
And those stars of Tony McCoy there, he's smiling now, but he wasn't smiling when it made a mistake. But this horse has come back some very good form. On the whole, he jumped well. The ones that he misses, he certainly does miss.
Yes, I thought, to be fair to Barton Bank, that's as good as I've seen him jump. That cross fence, the fourth, fifth last, is very difficult fence to jump. I can't blame him too much for them. And again, going to the last, Tony McCoy has had to go up and ask him long. fighting a losing battle there. The only chance he's got is to come up long, and it wasn't there. And all credit to Ginny Lang, because I think this horse is jumping better than ever now, and it'll give the horse a lot of confidence from it. He won over here at this trip as a novice, and he's met a very good horse here today. A very delighted Easterby crowd there. There's the Tim's father.